The evening sun was setting. In a quiet, large house in Lagos, Chief Chukwuma sat at the dining table, counting money. There was a lot of money, fresh bundles, stacked all over the table. Chief Chukwuma smiled and shook his head in happiness. He was wearing a simple white traditional outfit and slippers. Even though he was wealthy, he liked dressing simply. "God, you have done it," he said, laughing. "This money will change everything for us." In the kitchen, his wife, Amoka, was cooking. Her face was serious. She opened a small bottle and quietly poured poison into the soup. She stirred it thoroughly, glancing around to make sure no one saw her. Amoka smiled to herself. "You will not enjoy this money alone," she muttered. She carefully served the food into a tray, wiped her hands, and carried it to the dining room. When Chief Chukwuma saw her, his face lit up. "My queen," he called out. Come and join me to celebrate." Amoka gave him a fake smile and placed the tray on the table. She knelt beside him and looked at the money. "My husband, you are amazing," she said sweetly. "You don't know how happy I am." Chief laughed and pulled her closer. "Amoka, this is a great blessing. This money is clean money. One business finally paid off today. Big profit. God truly answered our prayers." Amoka's eyes shifted quickly from the money to his face. She smiled again and said, "So, what about me? You know I need some money right now." Chief smiled and rubbed her head. "Baby, don't worry. I want to reinvest all of this. It will double very soon. After that, you'll enjoy life. I'll buy you anything you want. Just a little patience, my queen." Amoka's smile faded a bit, but she quickly covered it up. She pushed the food closer to him. "At least eat something before you finish counting," she said. Chief laughed again. "Let me finish first. If I start eating now, the hand I'm using to count will become oily." "Money and food don't go well together," he joked. Amoka tried to smile again, but inside her, anger was building. She stood up and said, "Okay, let me go and freshen up a bit. You should eat too, alright?" Chief just nodded, still focused on counting. Amoka turned and walked back into the bedroom. She didn't notice the maid moving quietly inside the house, silently watching everything from the shadows. As soon as Amoka entered the bedroom and closed the door, the maid, Ngozi, quickly rushed into the living room. Her heart was beating fast. She knelt down quickly in front of Chief Chukwuma, her hands trembling. "Sir, please don't eat that food," she said in a low, urgent voice. Chief Chukwuma looked up, surprised. He frowned. "Ngozi, what's wrong? Are you alright?" Ngozi's eyes were filled with tears. "Sir, I beg you in God's name. I saw Madam. She put something into the food. I saw it with my own eyes." Chief Chukwuma leaned back in his chair, confused. He gave a small laugh and shook his head. "You don't know what you're saying, Ngozi," he said. "Amoka, my wife, the woman who suffered with me. I swear, sir," Ngozi said, her voice breaking. "I didn't mean to see it. I was passing the kitchen window. I saw Madam pour something from a small bottle into the pot. Please, sir, don't eat it. I'm begging you." Chief Chukwuma now looked at her more seriously. He loved his wife. He trusted her. But the fear in Ngozi's eyes was real. He hesitated. "Sir, please." Ngozi begged again. "Even if you don't believe me, just do one thing. Pretend that you have eaten the food. Pretend the poison is working." Chief Chokuma rubbed his head. He looked at the food in front of him. It smelled nice, hot, and fresh, but something inside him told him to listen to Ngozi. "What do you want me to do?" he asked quietly. Ngozi stood up quickly. She picked up the plate of food and hurried to the kitchen. In less than a minute, she returned. Most of the food was gone. Only a small portion remained on the plate, as if someone had eaten almost everything. Ngozi hid the rest of the poisoned food inside a black plastic bag under the sink. She carefully placed the almost empty plate back on the table. "Now, sir, please," she said. "Just act like the poison is affecting you. Pretend. Roll on the floor if you can. Cry. Scream. Make madam think you are dying." Chief Chokuma looked at her again. Ngozi's face was full of fear and sincerity. He nodded slowly. "All right," he said. "Let's see how this ends." He stood up from his chair and prepared himself for the performance of his life. In the bedroom, Amoka closed the door and jumped on the bed, laughing. She quickly picked up her phone and dialed a number. Her friend, Sandra, answered immediately. "Hello, girl," Amoka said, whispering and laughing at the same time. "Hey. What's up?" Sandra replied. Amoka covered her mouth and laughed again. "It has happened. That fool has eaten the food," she said, her voice full of wicked excitement. "Are you serious?" Sandra asked. "I swear," Amoka said. "The idiot is still counting money. Very soon, the poison will take effect. He will just collapse like a goat." Sandra also began laughing. Amoka got off the bed and walked happily around the room. "You see, I told you," Amoka continued. "This man doesn't love me. Imagine, after everything I went through with him, he said he wouldn't give me anything. He wants to reinvest all the money. Look at all the money on the table. Greedy man," Sandra hissed over the phone. "Rubbish," she said. "Today is his judgment day," Amoka nodded, as if Sandra could see her. "Once he dies, just come quickly," Amoka said. "We'll pack everything and disappear immediately. Nobody will know." Sandra laughed even harder. "I'm already on my way. Just call me once it's done." Amoka grinned and ended the call. She stood in front of the mirror, smiling at herself. Finally, she whispered. Freedom. Unknown to her, Ngozi, the maid, was quietly standing by the half-open door, listening. Her heart was beating fast. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Tears filled her eyes, but she stayed silent, hiding carefully so Amoka wouldn't see her. Now Ngozi knew without a doubt, Madam Amoka truly wanted Chief Chokuma dead. It wasn't a mistake. It was a wicked, deliberate plan. Quietly, she turned away from the door and slipped out, her mind racing, downstairs. Chief Chokuma was preparing to act his part. He looked around the living room. No one was there yet. He took a deep breath, and then the performance began. He grabbed his stomach and screamed loudly, "Air! My stomach! My stomach!" Oh, he rolled on the floor, kicked his legs, and cried like a man in terrible pain. He even knocked over one of the dining chairs to make the scene look more real. Upstairs in the bedroom, Amoka heard the noise. Her eyes lit up. She quickly ended the call she was making to Sandra and rushed out of the room. Pretending to panic, she ran down the stairs, shouting, "Honey, what's wrong? Are you okay?" When she entered the living room, she saw Chief Chokuma rolling on the floor, groaning loudly. He clutched his chest, twisted his face in fake pain, then went still. Amoka knelt beside him, gently touched him, still pretending to be worried. "Honey, baby, wake up. Talk to me," she shouted, acting concerned. Chief Chokuma gave one last fake shiver, then he died, completely still. Amoka watched him for a few seconds. When she was sure he wasn't moving, her expression changed. The fake tears vanished immediately. She stood up, wiped her face, and hissed loudly. "Stupid, stingy fool," she muttered. "You thought you could enjoy the money alone. Look at you now." She kicked his leg lightly. "You didn't want to give me anything. Fine. Die with your greed." She pulled out her phone quickly and called Sandra. "It's done," she said excitedly. "Start coming. Pack a small bag quickly. We'll take all the money and disappear before morning." Sandra screamed with joy on the phone. Amoka laughed and started gathering bundles of cash from the table into a big Gonomosgo bag. A few minutes later, Sandra arrived, wearing a simple black dress and a face cap. She rushed into the living room, breathing heavily. Amoka ran to hug her, laughing. "My girl," Amoka shouted. Sandra looked around quickly and saw Chief Chokuma lying motionless on the floor. "Is it true?" she whispered. Amoka nodded eagerly. "Dead as a rock," she said, laughing. Without wasting time, they both began packing the money into the big bag. They were laughing, dancing a little, and tossing money into the air. Money rain. Sandra shouted. Amoka giggled like a child. As they packed, Sandra suddenly paused. She looked around, a bit uneasy. "Girl," Sandra said in a lower voice. "Are you sure no one saw us?" "What about the maid?" Amoka waved her hand carelessly. "Forget her," she said. "I sent her on an errand this afternoon. She's not home." Sandra still looked unsure but nodded anyway. They zipped a large bag filled with cash and got ready to leave. Amoka smiled brightly. "A new life, here we come," she said. But just as they were dragging the bag toward the door, suddenly, Ngozi appeared from a small side entrance. Before they could react, she rushed to the front door, locked it quickly, and held up the key. They froze. Ngozi didn't say a word. She looked straight at Chief Chokuma's dead body. Then threw the key. Chief Chokuma caught it in midair, and slowly, he stood up, alive, strong, staring directly at them with burning eyes. Amoka dropped the bag immediately. Sandra's mouth fell open in shock. They were frozen, staring at Chief Chokuma like they had seen a ghost. Silence filled the room. The only sound was the ticking of the wall clock. Ngozi stood by the door, blocking it, her eyes cold and serious. Chief Chokuma gave a small smile, but it wasn't a kind one. It was the smile of a man who had caught his enemies red-handed. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then Amoka suddenly dropped to her knees. She began crying loudly. "Baby, please. It's not what you think," she screamed. Chief Chokuma folded his arms and stared at her with cold eyes. Sandra slowly knelt too, her head bowed in shame. "Who planned it?" Chief Chokuma asked in a deep, steady voice. Amoka quickly pointed at Sandra. "It was her," she shouted. She told me to do it. She said if I didn't act, you'd never give me anything. Sandra gasped. Me, she shouted back. Who planned it all? Wasn't it you? Who bought the poison? Me. They began arguing, yelling over each other. Chief Chokuma raised his hand. Enough, he barked. They went silent immediately. He walked slowly to the bag of money, put back every single kobo, he said. Now, with shaking hands, Amoka pushed the bag toward him. She knelt and grabbed his leg, crying, "Please forgive me," she begged. I was confused. I didn't mean to. I was just angry. I thought you didn't love me anymore. Chief Chokuma shook her off. Then he turned to Ngozi, still standing quietly at the door. He walked over and gently held her hands. God bless you, Ngozi, he said, his voice soft. You saved my life. Ngozi lowered her head, tears in her eyes. Chief Chokuma nodded, then turned serious again. You two won't escape justice, he said, looking at Amoka and Sandra. Just then, there was a loud knock on the door. Bam! 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 Open up! Police! Chief Chokuma smiled grimly. He turned to Ngozi. Watch them, he said. Then he walked to the door and opened it. 2 police officers entered quickly. They saw Amoka and Sandra kneeling on the floor, crying. Chief Chokuma pointed calmly. These are the criminals, he said. Attempted murder. Theft. The officers didn't hesitate. They arrested both women and let them out. Please subscribe, like, comment your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.